welcome back to Out of Body, 31 Days of Halloween. Today's video is a paranormal tag, which means that I will be answering questions that have a paranormal theme. Now, I got this video idea from Lera here on YouTube, so I will link hers down below. Definitely check her out. She's awesome. She does true crime videos, she does music videos, she does like vlogs and stuff. She's great, so go check her out. This tag has 13 questions, all related to the paranormal, so let's just get right into this. So the first question is, how old were you when you had your first paranormal experience? So that's hard for me to say because I had sleep paralysis a lot when I was really young, and so I would say like maybe 4 or 5, and to me that's paranormal, even if it wasn't like initiated by any entity. Like having sleep paralysis, and like I would have like the vibrations and like the pre-astral projection type thing back when I ever since I can remember, really. But I would say, I guess if I had to say an age, around 4, and I would get it a lot. I would get it like, I don't think it was every night, but it was close to that. I would get it a lot and it would scare me. And I remember I even tried telling one of my friends. For some reason I never told my parents or anything. I guess because I never really thought to tell anyone most of the time, because I would just forget about it during the day until it would happen again in the middle of the night. But one time I did remember in front of one of my friends, and I told her about it, and I was like, I guess I just thought it was normal, that's another thing. I didn't think it was abnormal. I thought it was just a nightmare. And so I was telling my friend one day, those dreams that you have where you wake up and you can see your room and you can't move, and like you feel all this tingling and this vibration stuff, and isn't that like creepy when that happens? And she was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, oh, nothing. So I didn't talk about it after that, because that's when I realized, oh, that's not normal. I was probably like 10 or 11 then. Question number 2, have you always believed in ghosts? Yes, ever since I knew what a ghost was, I have always believed in them. I don't know, I guess I've just always believed in things that you can't see, I guess because I've always been able to sense. Even if I didn't realize I was sensing something, I just felt like even though I couldn't see something, it doesn't mean it's not real. Like I've just always believed that. It's kind of innate in me, I guess. Question number 3, where is your favorite place to investigate? I would say I haven't really investigated per se a lot of places, really anywhere, like an actual paranormal investigation, but I have visited a lot of places and just to kind of see what I could sense, so that's kind of an investigation. But my favorite place to do that at is the Woodruff Fontaine house, which I did a video on that last year not last year, the year before that. I keep saying last year, for 31 Days of Halloween. Last time I did that, I did a video on Woodruff Fontaine, and I've visited it multiple times, and I actually was volunteering at it for a very short time, but I just felt like it was a bad time for me, and I just had too much going on. I couldn't stick with it, and I couldn't do it now either. I've got too much going on, but I find that home very fascinating, and it's ghosts. Question number 4, what is your favorite investigating tool to use? I don't particularly use a tool because I do have my own senses, so I would say that's number 1 for me. It's just, what do I sense? What do I feel? What do I hear? Like that's my favorite thing to use, is me. But other than that, as far as an outside tool, I would say, I really haven't used a spirit box or anything like that. I've only used like the phone apps, so I guess I would say that. But again, I haven't used a lot of things, so I can't really answer that. Question number 5, what is your scariest paranormal experience? I guess for me, like I was saying earlier, would be the sleep paralysis. And now it's not scary for me because I know what it is. For me, it's how I perform astral projection, is through that sleep paralysis and the vibrations. But when I was younger, before I knew what that was the scariest thing. Like I literally thought something was trying to take over my body, because I couldn't move. I could see around me and it was dark. Whenever I have sleep paralysis and I look around the room, there's always like these little black speckles and stuff. It almost looks like old film, It's not clear. Not until I leave my body, then like my vision's clear. But when I'm in sleep paralysis, it's like I'm in that in-between state, and so everything's kind of like speckly, and which is creepy. In the middle of the night, I would feel that sensation all over my body, and I thought something or someone was trying to hurt me. That's what I thought, you know, and it that's the scariest thing, honestly. Even though, like I said, I'm not scared of it anymore, at the time when it was happening, before I knew, that was the scariest thing to me. Question number 6, what is your favorite paranormal experience? I would say mine would be not necessarily a favorite experience, but a favorite ghost that I've come in contact with, which would be Elliot Fontaine from the Woodruff Fontaine house that I spoke of earlier. For some reason, I just felt connected to him, and it's almost like he knew that he could trust me, and so he would kind of, after that, after I initially visited the home, I ended up having dreams like night after night. I talked about that in another video. I had these paranormal dreams where he would come to me in a dream and like tell me to come back to the house or to buy the house, or, you know, like he was like beckoning me to come back or whatever. It was kind of neat, honestly. Like, it wasn't bad at all. He just seemed like a kind of spirit that just almost just wanted to be understood, just wanted somebody to understand him. I still have yet to go to that house and actually do a formal paranormal investigation. They actually have them there. They have group investigations. On weekends, they would do these at night paranormal investigations where you could come, you could bring your equipment and all of that. They used to, I should say. With COVID, I don't know, I don't think they're doing anything like that. Question number 7, do you know anyone else personally who has had paranormal experiences? Personally, not really. Mostly just people I correspond with through YouTube, you know, online, or just videos of other people I watch online. One of my bandmates did tell me a story one time fairly recently about something he experienced, and his girlfriend is also, she's had experiences too, but other than that, like, there's nobody close to me in real life that I know of that's really had a lot of that. Like, if they have, they either haven't told me, or maybe they had like one experience and that was about it, and I don't want to tell it on here, you know. Question number 8 kind of ties into the last one. It says, do you have trouble convincing friends and family about your paranormal experiences? And no, they support me and they find it interesting what I do and what I experience and what I talk about, you know, in my YouTube channel. They've all been so supportive and everything. So, I mean, I don't have trouble convincing them. Like, they know that that stuff is real. They do believe in it, but, you know, they're not gonna necessarily sit there and just talk about it like I do. Question number 9, what is your favorite paranormal TV show or movie? Now, I honestly haven't watched a lot of paranormal TV shows. I think I watched like one of the ghost like investigative shows back in the day. Like, it was back in high school, and that was, well, some time ago. And I think it was like Ghost Hunters or something. I don't know, but I used to watch that. But recently, like, no, I haven't really gotten into anything like that. As far as movies, my all-time favorite is 13 Ghosts, even though it scares me out of my mind, the original version. As far as something more recent, I'd say my favorite paranormal movie is probably The Conjuring. I actually didn't see it till fairly recently, but I really liked it, mostly because it's a true story and because I already knew the backstory before I watched the movie, so it was interesting. And it has Ed and Lorraine Warren in it, which I like anything to do with them because I really respect everything they did. Question number 10, what would be your dream place to investigate? I would say, like, in the entire world, or at least in America, if I could choose anywhere to investigate, even though it'd probably scare me, is the Amityville home. Only because, you know, the family that lived in there after the tragedy occurred, I mean, they made a movie about it that claimed all this paranormal activity going on. Supposedly, people who have lived in it since then, and even the people who live in it now, from what I've heard, claim that there is not any paranormal activity. So because of that, I would like to go there and see for myself, you know, is there anything there? Is there not? What's really going on? Question number 11, do you prefer to investigate alone or in a group? Now, people may be surprised about this. Even though I'd probably be scared to do it this way, I would prefer to investigate alone. Only because, for me, I mostly use my senses and I can focus more and really tune in to whatever I'm experiencing better when I'm alone than when there's other people and their energy's mixing up with whatever I'm picking up. It's just easier if I'm alone. But yet I'd be kind of scared to do that. So I don't know if I really would, but in a perfect world, I guess, in a dream world, I would, you know, do it alone. Also, I feel like if I were to experience anything paranormal, it'd be more likely to happen when I'm alone than when there's a bunch of people around. Question number 12, is your home haunted? I've done a video on some activity I've experienced since I've been here. I wouldn't call it haunted necessarily. Like, to me, haunted is like, to me, it gives off a tone of not negative, but just like something bad happened here and all this energy is here. It doesn't feel that way. It just feels visited by spirits, not necessarily just by any old spirit, but it feels visited, honestly, by like some of my past relatives and spirit guides, and I think some of my sons, you know, angels, and I feel like there's lots of like good spirits that are just kind of lingering around us in general. And, you know, that's kind of what I'm experiencing here. Could there be more than that? Sure. You know, I suspect that there could be more than that, but I don't know for sure yet. And the last question, number 13, says, have you ever had any paranormal experiences with animals? No, honestly, I haven't had any animals other than fish, which if you hear the water dripping in the background, I meant to say that before. I have an aquarium in here. That's what you're hearing. If you're wondering who's peeing in the background, it's actually just the aquarium filter running. So anyway, yeah, I have fish, and that's really all I've had since I was in high school. We had a dog growing up, and he passed away when I was in high school, so I haven't had a pet since then, really. So no, although one of my friends in college had cats, and it seemed like a lot of times when I would go to her place, her cats would, like, you know, look at something that we couldn't see and chase something we couldn't see. And, you know, I didn't want to freak her out back then, so I would just be like, oh, that's weird, that's funny. But I was really like, oh God, you know, like they're probably seeing something we can't see, you know? So I guess if anything, I would say that, but I mean, I haven't had my own pets, so I can't really say anything other than that. All right, so that concludes this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely check out Lera's video as well, and feel free to do this tag video if you want to. Other YouTubers on here, if you guys want to do this video, like, just go for it. You know, I've got the questions in the description. I hope you guys have a great night. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next video. Bye.